Hey everybody, welcome to On the Edge of Entertainment, where I am inviting my friends from the entertainment industry, from Las Vegas and around the globe to talk about their lives in showbiz. And today I'm very honored to have an amazing drummer on with me. His name is Adrian Passarelli. Did I say that
Hey,
right?
you said it perfect. I know sometimes that's a bit of a tricky one to say, but yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, I know I didn't spell it right earlier, so
It's even
you
trickier to
didn't
spell.
get my email.
Yeah, it's even
Sorry
trickier
about
to
that.
spell. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, you look great. Nice to see you.
You look great too. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. So Adrian and I know each other from doing a tour on a ship. So we were in two separate shows, but we all became, friends on the ship because we were stuck on a ship together for a number of months.
Yeah.
And that situation was just so crazy. But anyway, he was the drummer in Blue Man Group, and I was Madonna in the Legends in Concert show. So it was like having a bunch of brothers and sisters to hang out with, and we had so much fun. We were in France, and
Yeah.
man.
We probably had the most special of memories on that ship because
Yeah.
it wasn't finished built yet, and everyone was rehearsing in their little corners, and
Yeah, that was a contractual problem. So somebody decided that, well, we were hired at a certain time. I think it was like May, and then they decided the ship wasn't going to be done until June, let's say, and all the powers that be decided that we needed to be under contract at the time that we said we were under contract, despite whether or not the ship was done.
right.
So we ended up on the ship with literally no elevators. I mean, and we're talking, that ship was 14 stories, and the rehearsal space was
Yeah.
on the top. So I remember my knees were just shot in the first week because you'd go to an elevator that was working yesterday and then suddenly it's not working. So then you'd have to find your way around. You'd have to go through blocked doors. You'd have to duck under
Yeah.
people shooting out what is it called? The fire, for the
Oh,
welding. I mean,
oh
it
yeah.
was crazy, but we were stuck in France, and we weren't even that close to the nearest town. Do you remember
It
having to
was
walk for 30 minutes just to get something to eat?
there was nothing around. There was nothing. We were literally docked at a shipyard,
What
away
was
from anything.
Yes, we were so far away, but the people were so cool. We were in Nantes, France.
Not. Yep.
Nantes,
That's right.
the S was silent, right?
Not.
And
Yeah.
that was a really cool shipyard. It was actually the last ship ever built. It was where the Normandy was built from the war.
That's
And
right. Yeah.
yeah, so it had kind of a famous history, and we were the last ship that they would ever build there. But the townspeople were really super nice, and they didn't have like taxi service, and we'd be at the restaurants till 10 o'clock at night, thinking our American way that we have to catch a taxi, and
Yeah.
they're like, sorry, there's no taxis. So the guy owning the bar would end up giving us a ride back to the ship, and they were just so nice about it. They were
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
cool. They were
Yeah.
so
Or we
cool.
or we just did what Europeans do, and we walked. We walked
Yeah,
back to the ship.
walking was kind of nice for a change,
Yeah.
It's like, wow, we can be outdoors, and it was just a beautiful time of year. It was a great place.
Yeah. It
And
was as crazy of a time that was. It was pretty special. It was really cool because we were all going through it together. So it was like it was pretty.
Oh, whoops. It's video. A fire. This is a video. No, seriously. Oh, it's video? There's our leaders.
yeah, and that was my very first ship, and I honestly didn't know what to expect. And when I got off the bus and I looked up, I had no idea it was going to be bigger than a building. It was so
Oh yeah.
massive. It just went on and on and on. And at the time, that was the biggest ship. It was the Epic. And it was the biggest ship of its kind. And we were
Yeah.
launching the new big ship. So, and we had to do the transatlantic crossing on the biggest ship ever made. And that was kind of scary.
I know. Well, we were still on it while they were like testing everything.
Yeah.
So I remember we were doing rehearsals while they were testing to see how far they would push it and see how far they could push it before it tipped over,
Yep.
or they would go as fast as they could and then turn it to see how much it would list. Like
And
all this stuff.
they broke some stuff and had to fix it too on one of our first tours, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
The engine.
Was it it was the prop or something, wasn't it? Or the engine, or maybe both happened. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get scared about ships now, but you know, this is what they do. They test them and they push them so that they know what it can handle or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were good times and good memories. And I'm gonna post some cool pictures of us then and now.
I can't wait to see them because I don't think
You
I've seen
probably
them in a
don't
while.
have it because it's from my camera, you know? You probably don't have
Yeah.
that picture. Yeah, I have some good
Cool.
memories from back then. But
Awesome.
anyway, so enough about us. I want to talk about Adrian and what he's been doing now because it's been really cool to see this transformation from all these great shows that you get to do and everything. And now you are touring with Alessia Cara.
Yep.
That's so cool. I have
Yeah.
some video of you and it's really awesome. Can I show it?
Of course.
Okay, let me play this real quick. Here we go.
Now all you have to do is wait a second. Your hands on mine. The clock is ticking. So 1, 2, 3, go. The clock is ticking. Don't say. Now all you gotta do is check. The clock is ticking. Don't say. Now I wanna live what I already know.
I don't come from a family of musicians, like direct family. So one of my uncles had a drum kit. He bought it when he was in his teens, and I was about 4 years old. So he bought the drum kit. It sat around the house for a while, and every time I would go over, I'd pick up sticks, or if he hid the sticks, I'd pick up pencils and start playing it until finally one day he gave me the kit when I was about 9. And at 9, I just started listening to records and trying to figure out what the drum parts were, and just kind of teaching myself how to play drums. Yeah, until I was about 16, I just continued learning on my own, and then at 16, I started taking lessons.
Now all you gotta do is wait. What? Your hands. The clock. So 1, 2, 3, go. Don't be side by side. Now all you gotta do is say. The clock is ticking, so play. I said,
There was a band in Toronto called Bass is Bass, and they were kind of a hip hop R&B soul band, and I was a big fan of the band. And at one point, I heard that the drummer was leaving, so I did whatever I could to find out how to get to management, call them up, get an audition, and I got the gig, and it was my first kind of like profile thing. So we were doing TV shows, and we did like a major cross Canada tour with Tom Cochran. So after Bass is Bass, I did a ton of recording with them. I was with them for about 2 years, and then I ended up hearing about an audition for Nellie Furtado.
like, man, why you gotta be so cold in the summertime? Summertime, I was really rooting for you. I was really rooting for you. Yeah. Like, man, why you gotta be so cold in the summertime?
So what happened there was I got called to do an audition for her, and I wrote her name down in a book. I got the number of the management, and that day, the day that I had that phone call, I was doing a session for a rap artist named Snow. And while I was in the live room, you know, getting my drums all ready, I heard the producers talking about, oh, have you heard this Nellie Furtado? It's gonna be huge, blah blah blah, and they were just going on and on about it. And I was like, went back to my book and I looked up the name. I was like, oh, that's her. So I was like, I gotta get this. I really gotta get this. So yeah, I went in and I was like, I want to do this.
Why you gotta be so cold cold in the summertime, summertime. I was really rooting for you, yeah. I was really rooting for you, yeah. Baby, why you gotta...
So I toured with Nellie for 3 years. And then after that, the band was like changed around a bit. I had an audition with Blue Band Group in Toronto, which I ended up getting. I started off as a sub in Toronto. From there, I went to Germany for 3 years. They asked me to do, they opened up a very, very slow touring show in Europe. And I basically had a year off in between the next thing that was going to happen with Blue Man. And I was, at the time, I was going to move to Las Vegas. So I had my working papers from Canada to go and live and work for 3 years in the States. And the day that I got to Toronto, the music director, Dean, phoned me up and was like, hey, are you in Toronto? I was literally at the airport in a taxi. And I was like, yeah, I just landed 20 minutes ago. Oh, great. I have a gig for you on Tuesday. This girl named Alessia Cara. She's a brand new singer. And I was like, cool, okay. I got in the room with her the first rehearsal, and we played one song, and we took a break, and I was like, I looked over at the keyboard player who I just met, Eric, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna tour for like the next 3 years. We're gonna do this TV show, this one, and he was like, what? And it all happened. It totally happened.
You should know you're beautiful, just the way you are. You don't have to say to me the way I could change it. No scars, you're beautiful. With stars and we're beautiful.
I've always played Vic Firth drum set. So my first sticks were the SD9 drivers, and they felt amazing. They were maple. They felt like really great to play. And then as I started playing longer and you know, heavier, I started getting into the maple, hickory sticks. Right now I'm playing a 5B. I go back and forth between the Vic Grip 5B stick or just a regular 5B with the Vic tape. I joined Vic Firth 20 years ago, and it for me, I think it might have been one of the first endorsements I ever had. I just feel very dedicated to them because they've been dedicated to me for all this time.
You don't have to say to me what I'm saying. No scars, you're beautiful. With stars, and we're beautiful.
Awesome. Well, I don't even have to ask you anything now. We found everything out.
There was an interview within the interview.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I mean, okay, first of all, I watched the video for Scars to Your Beautiful this morning, and I cried. It was so, man, that's a powerful
beautiful,
song.
Right?
So beautiful.
Yeah. I'm so proud to work with Alessia. She's like really, her message is awesome, and she just comes from a really good place. She's super cool. She's super cool without trying to be cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is what I love about it.
Yeah. Down to earth.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, so you talked about, you know, starting to get more training when you were about 16. That's when you started like taking drum lessons or whatever.
Yeah. So I kind of, I was self-taught. I mean, I literally, I would just like start playing on my uncle's drum kit any chance I had. And then when I was 16, I actually started studying. I got a teacher named Steve Mancuso, and he just opened up so many doors for me, like learning different styles, different technique. So basically learning what I was doing, and not having any idea of what I was doing. I would just like do it off of feel.
I think that's really important though. Like as an artist, I think that sometimes you can get trapped in the you know, knowing what you're supposed to be doing. But if you're an artist, you just feel it, and you might. I mean, I feel like that's the way musicians used to play more so.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like the classic rock and stuff like that, I feel like, you know, they were riffing and they were just doing things that they invented.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, music is a very like a physical feel thing. Like I like playing the drums it makes me feel a certain way. Like it physically feels great.
Yeah.
And then going into like the feel of music, that's something that for me, I've always thought it's something you just have to realize. No one can teach you that. It's just, you have to like stumble on it on your own, and then kind of nurture it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can be taught many things. You can be given all the tools that you need to like express yourself. But the only way that you're going to make it your own is if you realize this feel sensation.
Yeah. You have to connect your feelings, and your kind of like your intuition almost, you know, it's like something that drives you, but it's coming from within.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's funny because when I was a little girl, what I wanted to grow up to be is a drummer.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, I mean, I've gotten on a drum set a couple of times and I don't get it because I was always just, you know, tapping, and it was always about the beat for me. And, you know, I'm a dancer, so maybe that's why I enjoy beats, you know, but it was always about the beat for me. And I always said, I'm going to be a drummer when I grow up.
You see, there's still time.
There is, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, you know what? It's funny because on the road, Alessia, she's so interested in drums. So when we're touring, I have this like little tiny drum kit that it fits in a little case, and we unpack it every day and set up the dressing room as a little studio, like as a little rehearsal place.
Yeah.
And our warm-ups, instead of her doing scales and all this stuff, we'll actually just jam. We actually put together a cover band. So we would learn cover songs, and that would be our warm-up. We'd do like a half hour of like learning songs and just jamming them before we would go on stage.
Crazy. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. It's really, it's like, it takes like the boring aspect out of like warming up. So it's like you're warming up, you're actually playing, and it's fun. But she is actually an amazing drummer that has never played drums. So any chance we have during rehearsals and stuff like that, when we take a break, she's like, Adrian, can I play your drums? So she'll sit down. Yeah, she'll sit down, and I've been teaching her. I've been showing her like little things here and there, and she picks them up like so fast. I love that.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is, you should, if you ever have a chance, you should totally, just for fun, take it up.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe now that, you know, you're back here and we're in touch, maybe I can come to your studio.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
All right, you're building a little studio, I heard.
Yeah. So I'm well, in the last 6 months I've been kind of like traveling around I have an Airstream. So I've been traveling around in that, and obviously I don't have like a rehearsal room in my Airstream. So I actually recently picked up another cargo trailer, and I'm transforming it into a rehearsal studio, like a drum studio. So thank God it's been my project during all of this, and it's been keeping me busy, but it's fun, and it's almost done. So when it's done, we're having lessons.
Awesome. You better still be here.
Yeah.
Guess you can leave whenever you want to.
I can, yeah, whenever I hitch up, that's it. I'm out.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool way to live, especially right now, you know?
Yeah. And another reason why I'm building that studio as well is because I'm putting together my like an online drum course as well. So that's something that I'm really excited about. That's been a cool project.
Well, I'm sure people will want to learn from you because clearly you've had a very stellar career, you know, and I kind of want to know, and I don't know, you know, you're probably too humble to even answer this, but I'm very interested to know why your career, you know, went in such a dream come true kind of direction, where other people's might not, that do the same thing.
I don't know. That's a tough question, because it's true. I every day I'm like grateful every day I'm on tour and every day I'm playing drums, I'm always grateful that I get to do it, first of all. And then, because I know that there's tons of people that are amazing at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're capable, yeah, and they're ready to do it. And for me, I don't know. I've always been a big believer in just like envisioning something, writing it down on paper, and then doing whatever it takes to get to where you want to get. Like I always, for instance, so like when I was just in my bedroom air drumming when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
I always imagined, even without a drum set in front of me, I imagined the drum set, and then I imagined people in front of me, and it's a really strange way of doing it, but I've always done it that way, and I've always felt like when I want something, I'm gonna just get it.
Well, I'm really glad that I asked you that question, and I kind of had a feeling that it would be something like that because knowing you, I just feel like you're a very giving person, you know? You're giving with your kindness, and to hear that you're thankful too. I mean, I feel like that's been one of my huge secrets as well. I just feel like when you're thankful for what you have, no matter what it is, because, you know, where I came from was nothing, you know, so I'm very thankful for everything that I have. And I think that you draw in better things to your life as long as you can appreciate and accept where you are right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and to me, like I'm so lucky. I'm incredibly lucky. I got to like tour with Nellie Furtado. We did all the biggest things that you could imagine doing as a musician. Like every dream that I've ever had when I was a kid, I ticked them all off when I was touring with Nellie. And then playing in Blue Man Group was another whole other thing, and it still is. I mean, I was just out here in Vegas in February doing some coverage, and it was and that was another goal of mine too, was to play the Vegas show. I've done all the international shows and all these, you know, I played in Boston, Orlando, but mainly my thing with Blue Man Group has always been internationally, like the tours or like living in Germany and living in different parts of the world. But still, to me, I was actually so nervous playing the Vegas show, like incredibly nervous.
It is weird how different things make you nervous in this line of work. It's like sometimes you
Yeah.
just nail it. You walk in and you're like, yeah, this is easy breezy. And sometimes it's the smaller things that make you feel nervous because you feel more at home in the other things. It's just a weird thing.
It's really strange. So like even with Alessia, it's been another. I was never expecting to like do another pop gig after Blue Man. I just thought, well, I love Blue Man. I love doing Blue Man. And then having toured with Alessia, it's so awesome because I mean she's incredibly talented. She's a great person. Our team is really cool. And yeah, so we like 3 years ago we were touring with Coldplay for 3 months, and we did we did all the biggest venues you can imagine. It was a full stadium tour. So
Wow.
You're talking like between 80,000 and 120,000 people every gig, yeah. So like the keyboard player and I would always joke in the mornings we'd pull up to the stadium or we'd ride our bicycles and from the hotel and go to the stadium, and we'd get there and we'd always get to the front entrance of it, and then we'd kind of like jokingly say to each other, let's go see the bar. Let's go see what the bar looks like today. Like as in the venue. And we're like, so we'd always walk in and we were calling stadiums the bar gig that we had. And we're like, every single day we're like, wow, it never,
gosh.
Yeah. Every single day. Like I'm getting goosebumps now because every day I was just blown away at the fact that I got to do that. And I would try to make a point of like going all the way to the farthest, crappiest seat that was right at the back. And I love going there and seeing, like, sitting in that seat and kind of going, wow, so somebody is like has paid a lot of money to come and sit in this seat today to see the stage, which looks like that from up there.
Wow.
And I always think, okay, so I have to like push my vibe all the way to that person.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah, because you have to have a perspective in order to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. That's sweet of you to care about the people in the nosebleed section.
Well,
That would be me. I'd be in the nosebleed section.
one of the cool things that Coldplay did was they would send somebody out while people were coming into the stadium. They would send some of their crew out to go to the fans that had they had the big Bristol boards and the signs and all this stuff, and they would never sell the first like 3 or 4 rows,
Hmm.
like the very first 3 or 4 rows, and they would always just go to the diehard fans like that and pick them up and go, "Oh, we're changing your seat," and
Oh,
bang,
wow.
right in the front. So then all of a sudden they're like,
That's awesome.
"Yeah, so cool."
I've seen Lady Gaga and Gwen Stefani that way.
Oh wow, so cool.
I know. I love it. Actually, I saw Madonna that way as well.
Oh man, awesome.
Yeah. 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 It's
That's
pretty
cool.
amazing what we get to do. I feel really blessed myself. And yeah, I've had some pretty cool jobs. I had one job that had, well, I've had some really cool jobs. Like a couple of years ago, I actually produced 10 acts and 6 dancers for a massive bar mitzvah that ended up being in Dodger Stadium.
Wow, no way.
She rented out
Holy,
Dodger Stadium. It was insane. So, but it was like hush hush before it happened, and I didn't charge enough money for my services because I didn't know it was going to be in Dodger Stadium. But
yeah, wow.
anyway, it was
Oh,
a great experience, and now I can say I did it.
that's killer.
Yeah. And I got to perform 2 of my characters too, on top of producing it, which was kind of insane. It was a little stressful.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
used to always love watching you perform on the ship, by the way.
You
So
did?
killer. Yeah, oh,
Ah.
totally. Yeah,
That was a really
it's a great
cool
show.
show I got to do. I got to do the period piece Madonna from the MTV 1990 Music Awards, where she wore the big Renaissance gown and the Renaissance hair. And
Yeah.
I actually just sold that. I sold that dress not too long
Oh,
ago.
wow.
I'm selling some of my stuff on, Etsy and stuff like that, because I want somebody
Wow.
to enjoy it. If I don't wear it, if I only wear it once every 10 years, then it's probably time to let it go, because I get
Right.
other things, things coming
Yeah.
in. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So, I mean, how many people do you think was in that video that we just saw of you? Like, I mean, what kind of stadium was that? How big was
so
that?
that was TD Arena in Boston. So last year, well, yeah, last summer we toured with Shawn Mendes for like 7 months.
Awesome.
So, and that was it was a full arena tour.
Mm.
So I think the arenas were between like, let's say 20,000 to 30,000 a
Mm.
night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you were supposed to be on tour right now doing something, right?
Yeah. We were supposed to be in actually some places that have been some bucket list places that I still have places that I would love to go to. And we were supposed to go to Japan, which I've been to once, the Philippines, which I'm dying to
Mm-hmm.
go to,
Mm-hmm.
and Korea. And I'm not sure if we're meant to go to Australia again or something, but
Mm.
yeah, we
Oh
we were
man.
we were just getting all of our stuff together, our visas and everything ready to head out, and then we're not heading out.
Well, hopefully whenever it all comes back to life, we'll resume where we were.
Yeah.
I had a three month contract or 4 month contract in Vegas, and it was supposed to start a couple weeks ago. And
Wow. Yeah.
I know, and I'm hoping that they keep me, they don't just X out this part of life and start wherever they start. I hope that this is just like a pause button that was pushed.
I hope so too. Yeah. I hope so
Yeah.
too. Yeah, it's just trying to stay positive, and it's such a bizarre time. It's a really bizarre time.
Yeah, it is. It's a really bizarre time. I hope you're keeping yourself busy. I know you're working on some things, so I'm hoping that, you get your word out there once you get that going. Maybe we'll do another interview because I'm targeting young people that are starting out and want to do these careers in music and singing and dancing
Oh,
and
that's
I'm
great.
having people like you on to help and give tips and give hope and faith about doing what we do.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've just been kind of like discovering that a little more recently because I've had some like this young drummer that's been reaching out to me. He's a big fan of Alessia Cara and Shawn Mendes, and he happened to be at one of our shows. So he's been posting like things that I play live.
Oh yeah, you're like
Yeah,
ah.
which is really cool. I really enjoy supporting him on it because it's it's flattering, and I remember being in that position too, being in the position of you just want to emulate things that you are into.
I know. I feel like it's crazy to know you. Just someone that's
Come on.
doing that. No, I mean, it. You have to put it in perspective. I guess what young entertainers should also realize is like the people that you work with years ago and become friends with. You keep those relationships along the way, and you go places. Each of you go places, and that's what my series here is all about. Is the people that I've met along the way, and then look what's happened, and look what's become of everyone. And
Yeah, yeah,
it's very hopeful for the entertainment industry because, I think it's one of the harder industries to do, but there's a way to do it. There's faithfulness and there's positivity and there's
yeah,
work ethic and all these things that I've been talking to people about lately.
yeah. All that stuff. So when going back to the beginning of the interview, like that stuff is almost more important. It's the most important stuff. I mean, the talent. If you're already getting led into a certain circle of something, it means you already have the talent, and you've kind of like passed that
Correct.
you passed that hurdle of can they do it. Then the very important part of it is being cool with people around you
Mm-hmm.
and understanding that sometimes you just have to sit and wait because people have to decide things, um, or it's just keeping a healthy attitude, not
Mm-hmm.
freaking out and stomping your feet about things, because like you said, it's a hard industry, and there's like so many people that are dying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky that it's me that's doing it. You're lucky
Mm-hmm.
that it's you that's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We've worked hard at what we're doing, but then you almost have to work harder to keep it.
You do have to work harder to keep it, and sometimes that means, you know, uh, just I mean, there's always so many people in charge, and I'm kind of a take charge person, and I think that's why I'm in the position I'm in. But I've also realized that sometimes you have to like take the back seat and just do what everybody else needs you to do.
Right, right. Yeah, and I think there's kind of a there's kind of like a magical way to discover how to do that.
Hmm. Yeah,
You know,
yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, I'm
yeah.
glad you've accomplished it, and that and that you've gotten to where you are. And I'm wondering, like, what is another dream come true that you don't think that you've accomplished yet that you might see in your future?
Hmm. I don't know. I guess maybe trying to inspire other musicians and other drummers. I think I enjoy sharing my story with people, and I enjoy um, if people ever have questions of how to get places. Because I mean, studying is one thing. It's kind of laid out, and it's important to like study your craft and to like emulate the people that you've been looking up to all your life. But
Hmm.
then there's also like steps on how to get to where those people are,
There are
right?
steps,
And
definitely.
yeah, yeah, you can't just sit around and like I'm so amazing. I'm ready to do all this, and no one's knocking on my door, because no one's ever gonna knock on your door ever like that.
True.
Yeah, you have to like really get out there, and you have to take certain steps to like to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, and I think from what you're saying, we're kind of doing a similar thing in that we probably, you know, had a lot of hard knocks. We broke down a lot of doors, and we tried to, you know, make a lot of things happen along the way. And I personally want to help people to kind of jump over some of those hurdles, to not have to go through all of those things, and maybe just learn from, you know, taking a course or listening to somebody who's done it. I've done over 12,000 shows, you know, with a live band singing. And so at some point you've learned some things, you know, you've really learned some lessons, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And that's our roles now, I think, is to share our experience and to share our knowledge of what we know, because that's the hard thing. You can't just study that, or you can't, you know.
Exactly. Or if I could have, I probably would have, you know? So.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you have to go through the steps.
You still have to do it.
Yeah. Maybe we can advise younger people on how to not have to go through some of the steps, you know?
Or how to navigate the steps, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's our nautical background.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have two very challenging backgrounds that pretty much, you know, molded the me that I am. So sometimes the biggest challenges are the biggest lessons and the way you learn.
Yeah. And they're always valuable.
They're always valuable. I'm filming some things for my course right now, and one of the things I talk about is challenges and how you perceive them. What it is that happened to you is only what you develop in your own consciousness about it.
That's true. You're creating the story of it.
You create the story of it. So if you want to be dramatic and have sympathy and all this kind of stuff, then you can create that. You can create that picture for anybody about anything that just happened to you, or you can just kind of brush it off and say, wow, I should have done that instead and learned the lesson from it, or say, wow, I learned a lesson from it. So there's different ways to see things and to experience them. So hard knocks and different things that come in, and it makes you want to like quit your career or not go further. Don't even think that way. You just have to think of it a different way and move forward.
Well, you know something I've learned between Nellie and Alessia, I've been around some of like the top, you know, like U2, Coldplay, Elton John, like all these. Yeah, all Gwen Stefani, like all these people, like massive people. The one thing that I've learned is that they're all super humble. Like all these people that are at the top like that, they're humble. Like they'll come up to me, who's the drummer for the opening band, and they'll sit down and talk to me and oh, how you know, are you enjoying this so far? How's it going? And I'm always like, you know, part of us always thinks, they have no time for, you know.
Yeah, why are they talking to me?
Yeah, but I've learned that might be one of the secret ingredients, is just because as artists we always have to have a little bit of ego in what we do, but it's how you navigate the ego as well.
That is so true.
Yeah, so I mean, when Bono Box is like walking around, he's Bono. When he's on stage, the guy's Bono. You know, he's that character. Yeah. When he's not on stage, he's super chill. Like I'll tell you a story of with Nellie Furtado. We were opening up for U2, and our first show was in Atlanta, Georgia. And the night before was their opening night of the whole tour in Miami, Florida. So we got everything set up on stage. And well, of course their gear was all set up, and the opening act does sound check after the headliner. So we were all waiting for U2 to do their sound check.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a huge thunderstorm or something in Miami, so they couldn't take off. So the band was mega late, and then their technicians have been with them since they were kids. So they can do the whole concert in and out exactly like U2. So they did the sound check, and then at the last second, Bono got up and they just they went through like one verse of something. And then by the time we got to like do our line check, or even bring our stuff out on stage, the doors were open, so people were coming in.
Yeah.
And it was like snare, da, 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 and people are still walking in. I'm like, oh man, this is weird.
Yeah.
Tom, bass drum. So we didn't even play a song. We couldn't play a song. We just had, that's all you get, just to make sure everything is working. Now get off the stage. So we got off the stage, and Bono is standing at the side of the stage, and I'm like, and he's like, I'm so sorry about that. Usually we're here for sound check. We had a big thunderstorm and we couldn't take off. And he was like, you in times like this, you just have to trust your sound man. He's got it. It's going to be fine. Like, don't worry about it. And I'm standing there like, you're Bono. I basically didn't even hear what he was saying. I'm just like,
right. I know. Right.
You're full on talking to me. He's like, he grabbed me and was like, yeah, come on, let's go have dinner. And I'm,
no way.
Yeah. And I was like floored by that, but it's kind of like, that's the continuity that I've noticed between like, even Chris Martin from Coldplay, the whole band, they're all like super nice. Like there's really no need to be mean or bad. You know what I mean? That's just my take on it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no, I mean, I think a lot of young performers do have that thing where they think that they can do anything they want and they're still going to get hired and they can treat people however they want. But our community entertainers are, we cross paths. We keep crossing paths like we're doing right now. If we weren't doing this, we might be, both working in the same theater again.
Yeah.
And, if you were a jerk, then I wouldn't even have cared to talk to you, and all those things. So it's so important, your reputation and coming out, no matter how talented you are, just being the person that you should be and realize that you're not better than anybody. Right?
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah.
My view on a tour is always like, every single link of that tour is the most important link. So you have the artist, of course, that is the reason why everyone's doing everything. But then you also have the bus driver that has to be healthy and awake and doing a great job. Otherwise, everyone dies. Or
right.
Caterers, the caterers have to be on their game. Otherwise, everyone gets sick. Or everyone's teamwork is like super important. Everyone has to do their piece with love and like with care. They have to. It's really, everyone's job is important. Everyone's job is important.
Well put. That's very well put.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I love it. You're so sweet. Such a good person.
Oh, so great to see you again.
I know. I can't wait to see you in person.
I know. Same here.
I feel like we said a lot. A lot of good moral lessons to be had.
I think so too.
Cool.
I think so too.
All right, Adrian. Well, thanks so much for stopping by and sharing your wisdom. It was very much appreciated, and I really loved what you had to say. And I think it's very important for people to hear when you're in a certain position, what the perspective is. Thank you for thinking of me to do this. This is it's so good. It feels really good to do it, and I think you have a really great thing here. I think it's really important. Yeah, it's really, really important because people getting into this industry
I think need to be inspired the right way, and that's what you're doing.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Everyone, Adrian Passarelli. Woo! Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
I'm gonna teach you drums.
Why, was that really bad?
No, it was great. It was great.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
All right, we'll be talking to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.